Hey there, YouTube. Today I'm going to be setting up this Cambridge by Ariel Vanity and installing it and showing you how that went. Overall, really happy with it. Happy with the storage. Happy with the slow closed doors and the slow closed drawers. Everything is slow closed. And there's tons of storage, which we've already filled up pretty quickly in 3 days. This is why we have a big vanity. Not gonna point any fingers, but storage is very nice. And look how clean the top of the unit is. Well, mostly. We chose the right mount sink because of the way our plumbing was. We previously had a pedestal sink and we hated it. And we also didn't want one in the center because then you have two small spaces to work with and you're still kind of like having to knock things into the sink and it's annoying. So we went with this right side sink basin. It's undermount. And now we have all this room over here, so my wife can set her blow dryer over here without worrying about it falling in because there's just like so much space. The quality of the quartz is really good. I actually slammed that backsplash on the ground a few times on accident, and this I was not gentle with, and it didn't fracture or anything. Here's the inside of it. I want to show you what it looks like with everything installed. Tons of room in this vanity. It's just amazing. It is actually a little taller than most vanities. It's actually 36 inches tall, and most of these were 35 inches. The top is 37 inches wide. And the actual vanity is 36 inches wide, so you have about a ½ inch overhang, which is really nice, and other vanities didn't seem to have. This way any water that comes over would drip down instead of into your vanity wood. We installed this Delta, I forget what it's called, I think it's a Langmore faucet, so that I can pull this out and wash all my whiskers away after I shave. Love the faucet, but that'll be a different video. The sink basin is perfect. It has an overflow drain, so you don't have to worry about it overflowing. I can't think of anything else, so let's get to the setup portion. What I think is the hardest part of this install is going to be installing this sink basin. It doesn't come attached at the factory. I got the 100% silicone. That's not hard. What's hard here is I think getting this centered because the edges are slightly beveled and there's no center line drawn. So that mark on there is from me. I decided to get out my faucet and install one of the handles, and I realized that if I would have actually centered this front and back, this washer would have hit the sink. So I'm thinking that the entire the sink is actually a little bit forward compared to the vanity, because I only got like 3.5 inches to the front here and like 4.25 here, so it's kind of pushed up. And if you get under it, this actually looks right. It's not too sunken in. And this looks right too, because if it was over more, you'd be able to see this ring really prominently. And it's usually kind of hidden underneath the lip of the vanity when you're leaning over it. So yeah, make sure you put your faucets on before you glue this, or at least just, you know, rough mount them in there. You don't have to permanently install them, but just to center your sink basin. And I actually have this factory undermounted sink here, and yeah, this is deeper than this. At the faucet, if I set this flush and push it, I get about 13 millimeters faucet side. If I do the same thing on the front, I got 26 millimeters on the overflow drain side. So yeah, the front of your sink is definitely supposed to be more tucked in than the back. Hope that helps someone. Okay, so I've been trying to center this thing perfectly. A little bit of OCD, trying to make it as good as factory. The thing is, every time I measure and try to use measurements, it doesn't feel right inside. So I'm thinking there's a discrepancy between the outer perimeter of the ceramic and the actual inside glazed ceramic, which is making me crazy. So I got under there, just used my fingers, felt it, looked at it, lined up the holes with my finger in a straight line, just kind of get a look, just to kind of eye it. And it looks a little off kilter right now, but I'm going to go ahead and mark it as it sits, glue it, and be done with this thing, because if it's a little bit off, I can always heat it up and remove the silicone, but I'm going to be here all night trying to get this perfect. So make sure that you get 100% silicone, not caulk. And then layer on there. Squidgy. Light her up. Of course, the silicone is distorting my lines, so that's good. Makes it a lot easier to move once you add the silicone, actually. Okay. Now, they actually sent me the wrong bolts, but I want to use these to hold it down. Okay. Feels like it's pretty firmly on there. I'm just going to crawl under it and double check everything. Alright, and here it is before I put the top on. So you can see that this wood is actually plywood. You can see the grain in it. It's not MDF. You can see right here how they assembled it. They used pocket screws in the real wood, not MDF where water's going to destroy it. Cabinet construction is amazing. The drawer construction is really solid. I don't like that this uses plastic components, but I looked at a few cabinets and they're all part plastic now, so I can't really get around it. So yeah, let's put the top on. Got my 100% silicone again. Oh, I just heard it. For shipping, the handles are inverted. So of course I forgot to do that before pushing it against the wall, so my hammer of shame here. Oh, strong countertop. Put it through the other side. Get it started. And of course, make sure you just use a hand driver. And the very last thing you got to silicone is the backsplash. Make sure you put it the right side up. One side is dull, the other one is shiny. Same with the front versus the back. So, once you verify the orientation is right, you can put the bead of silicone on the piece or on the back. I think I'm going to put it on the piece. Oh, okay. Chunkies. Always have paper towel handy when you're doing silicone. Careful not to hit your faucet. Alright, and this is where you find out that your wall's not level. That's why you gotta caulk the top. Nothing is ever level. Okay. This actually isn't too noticeable that I splooged it all over. It's white. So we have a nice good seal there, just to keep the water from going behind it. I think that'll work pretty good.